A surfer who's a farmer.
I've always felt pretty connected with nature.
A war refugee who's a famous chef.
Got somebody to try some spring roll.
There we go.
Aha.
Friends who create great dishes. They're up next on Chef's Afield.
We don't get too much frost right here because we're so close to the ocean.
Right.
People sing songs about this place, make movies here, write books about the city by the bay. San Francisco, the gold rush transformed this seaport into a magnet for fortune seekers, artists, poets, and immigrants. A town long known for its diversity and for its food. And one of the city's most notable food figures is one of its newer immigrants, Chef Charles Phan of the Slanted Door.
The trick is to find good greens, good organic greens.
In 1975, the Fawn family, teenager Charles Phan among them, fled Vietnam in a small boat. Eventually, they reached San Francisco.
You can go to a grave smiling because you did something. You put a mark in this world, you know, and make Vietnamese people proud.
20 years after arriving in America, he opened his restaurant. Today, family surrounds Fawn. Nearly everyone working in the restaurant is a sibling, cousin, aunt, uncle, niece, or nephew. And the newest generation, Fawn's children,
Should I do all of it?
Nati,
Yeah, one more.
Pana, and Panu. It's those three who lead the way on a visit to the Slanted Door's steady supplier, Joe Schirmer at Dirty Girl Farm. Out to experience good food, not on the plate today, on the farm.
We're walking, kids.
Schirmer bought the farm from two women who had named the place for the soil under their fingernails.
Ever since I started gardening in college, I've been working on farms in the summer, and now I've been farming, doing Dirty Girl for about 10 years. As soon as I got my hands on the soil, that was it.
Certified organic, locally grown. Joe grew up here on the edge of the Pacific Ocean, just outside Santa Cruz.
I've always been really close with nature. I grew up surfing, so always being in the ocean and swimming, diving.
Just because Joe Schirmer became a farmer does not mean that he had to leave surfing behind. He lives and farms right beside the ocean.
There's just this community of people around organic farming that are just so cool. It just feels totally positive being a part of it.
Produce from the Dirty Girl Farm is on the menu at the Slanted Door year-round.
Everything that you've seen here, we planted before December. We didn't plant anything in December.
Right.
So it's been overwintering for months. We've harvested most everything. It's just kind of the scraps.
It is February along the California coast. The last chill of winter hangs in the air.
What we're working on a lot here is soil fertility. We're trying to build the soil. We're gonna walk in here and we're gonna pull up some of these bell beans. What the bell bean does, it's in the legume with the kind of the bean family, and it fixes atmospheric nitrogen. So there's atmospheric nitrogen everywhere, pulls it in from the air, goes down the stem, goes into the roots, and it forms these little white nodules. See all these little guys? See, there's one right there. And that's just filled with nitrogen. It fixes nitrogen for the soil versus throwing pounds and pounds of petrochemical-based nitrogen fertilizer. And they just naturally pull it in. And even if you're a conventional farmer, you can plant it, and it saves money on the amount of nitrogen you have to put in the soil.
Come spring, the plants will be turned under. Gourmet food for dirt.
And then when it flowers,
Isn't that beautiful?
it gets pollinated and it forms the beans. It takes all that nitrogen and that goes into the bean, and that's why you get so much protein.
Is that a little worm?
That's the bean.
Beans itself,
That's
wow.
the shell of the bean. Right, when we planted it.
So
And so it just sprouted out there and then turned into this plant.
So they did this like before Christmas. And hopefully by March it'll be tall, and to make the soil rich and healthy, then they can grow stuff like this. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you think you're gonna be a farmer when you grow up, Panu?
I want to work in your restaurant.
Yeah, all right. And then that's what all this stuff's for. It's just for growing soil.
How many guys you got working here?
Well, right now it's just the two guys all winter. We have just enough produce to keep those guys working, and that's really ultimately why I do winter markets now, is to keep those guys
Healthy soil means that lots of creatures flourish.
What do we got here? Whoa! Oh, what's that? Oh no, that's an aphid. Bug, where'd it go?
I think it was somewhere over here.
There's one, yeah, you got it. You remember what that's called?
No.
Lacewing. It's another predator. It's a, carnivore, so it eats
Aphids?
aphids. A lot of times farmers will release ladybugs and lacewings into their farm just so they can go out there and they'll eat aphids.
So lacewing is a good bug.
Yeah. In the right quantities, they're all good bugs, right? Mm-hmm. But just once the nature gets out of balance, and the soil gets weak, plants are weak, their immune systems are weak, and then you get like a lot of aphids, or you get a lot of, worms or grubs, something that eats a plant.
It's clear that the beneficial bugs get the pretty names: lacewing, ladybug, praying mantis, harmonia, dragonfly.
You want to pick beets? This is what we'll do.
This is a beet?
Well, yep. And this is going to be a Chioggia beet, which is an Italian striped beet. So you kind of go like this, you get down real low, and you can kind of push the leaves, and you kind of check and see if it's a good one like that. And then you yank it up. See that one?
That's a big one.
See that?
Giant.
When you cut these are Italian striped beets. They have pink and white stripes all the way through them. There we go.
Uh-huh.
There you go,
I
you got
found
one?
one already.
Oh, there's a gold beet. One thing about beets is they're good all year round in this climate, but once you get that first little frost, that cold chill, the starches turn to sugar, so they get real sweet. So they're actually a little bit sweeter in the fall and the winter.
In the fall? Being so close to the ocean, how does that affect you?
Well, we don't get too much frost right here because we're so close to the ocean.
Right. I sort of imagine it would be cold closer to the ocean, but not.
No, the summertime it's cooler. Because you get the
fog.
Yeah. But in the wintertime it also doesn't get as cold.
The ocean breezes, warm and wet in the winter, help stretch out the growing season.
Common
Wow,
red beet.
you got a huge one.
That is a big one.
Wow.
That is a small one.
That's a good looking hand there, Pana.
All right, think we got
All
enough
right.
beets?
I think so.
Who wants to help me?
I think you're on your own. All right, I got more for you. I'm gonna keep loading you up here.
You sort of giving up on this?
Open,
What's that?
no. Open pollinated radicchio.
No.
So this is Castle de Franco, right? People cook them, people put them in salads. Obviously the heart's better, it's milder. But when you're cooking them, oh, you got the biggie.
When are you going to take this to market?
We're taking it to market. Yeah, we just chisel away a little bit every bit. This is more like foraging at this point than like just straight harvesting,
When you're a farmer, you get dirty.
Little dirt won't hurt.
Here, follow Joe. Come on,
You
guys.
guys follow me?
We're going to go pick some lunch.
Yeah.
There's one over there.
So what else we have here, Joe?
So we have cabbage bed,
Right?
have
Put
airhead cabbage, then we go into Romanesco, Savoy cabbage, broccoli, got our different lettuces, and then here's our broccolini. It's our lunch. You
Got
got
some
it?
broccolini?
I want one. Can I try?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that.
Where?
I like to take that little bit right there. It works a little better with the knife, but you can do it just as well
Right?
by hand.
Cool.
All these little shoots, you just kind of snap, they just kind of snap right off.
Trim off the stem here.
Broccoli originated in Italy, where its name piccoli bracchi means little arms. It's related to cabbage. Both are members of the Brassica family.
In a couple weeks,
I
this will
found a
all get
big
dished in,
one.
and oh, that's a good one. In the basket, put it in the basket.
So how many wave can you get the broccolini before?
They're
Twice?
different varieties. Like some varieties really don't have side shoots. They're made to just grow one big head, poundage. And some, like a lot of older heirloom varieties, they grow more of a medium to small size first head, and then it's all about side shoots. And it's almost like kale.
I like the side shoot better. They're a lot more tender. They're not this big, tight,
This is a really small one.
Yeah. Add it to the mix. The industrial standard is you get this big head of broccoli, and it's got this big fat stem on the bottom, and most people just cut that right off and throw it away because the skin's tough, and they don't even know that that's really the best part. They just like the little flower bud part.
The stem of the broccoli provides nearly double the vitamins and nutrients of the florets we usually eat.
Also, another great thing is you go to the market. I mean, this is how I learned stuff from you. When you're in the kitchen, you're just kind of all boxed in. You don't see what, everything comes in a box, you know?
Right,
You think a whole life comes in a box, but
Right.
of course, you know, like it's so refreshing to actually see the bloody plant on the field. And especially a farm like yours, we know that it's in a trusted hand and there's no chemical. Even psychologically, it tastes better.
Poppy.
It's just knowing that.
Yeah.
Taste
Yes,
this.
sir. Taste it? What do you think? Did you taste it? Or you just used me as a guinea pig?
See, straight from the hand it picked it.
Just kidding.
This is what I do. Stem, that part for the earthworms.
Earthworm.
This is a stem.
Yeah, you're right. That's sweeter.
It's really sweet.
I haven't not thought about that. Everybody wants the top.
I think that's good too.
Here, try this part. Eat the stem. You know, it's amazing.
Sweeter than this.
Yeah.
Lettuce, broccoli, beets, and others in the ground are transformed over the winter. They become sweeter as the cold turns their starches to sugar. Nature's dessert.
These are Romanesco. They're related to broccoli and cauliflower. It's an heirloom, very old variety, and they look like yellow fractals.
Elsa.
Wow, look at that.
You want that one right there?
That looks great.
So you just lean it over with one hand and just give it a cut right about there.
Yeah.
Right? Nice and easy. Ooh, there you go.
Cool.
Good job, good job. What do you think? That's a good one? All right, we'll put that in the stir fry.
So, Joe, this one is spreading out a little bit more. Is that just a little bit over?
They're just starting to flower. Some of them don't form a real tight head and they kind of go and
Romanesco, loosely related to cauliflower. Its spears growing as they do in a spiral have long fascinated scientists, artists, and philosophers.
want to try one of those?
Do I eat it?
Yeah, here, I'll get one.
It's really sweet.
Yeah.
The stem. It's
What do
amazingly
you think?
sweet.
Wow, isn't that good?
Seriously.
You like this better than broccoli? Good stuff?
Wouldn't it be cool to stir fry just the stem?
Yeah. It's just a different way to eat the same vegetable.
We saw 2 frogs in the frog pond.
A sign of spring, the appearance of a frog.
Frog alert.
I could do it. Oh, I got him, but his head is sticking out. Got him. Look. Whoa.
What's your favorite foods, kids?
I like beets.
Beets? All right.
Out of all the stuff that we picked, I think I like broccoli.
Yeah? What's your favorite food other than that?
Cauliflower.
Ice cream?
Not out of all the stuff we picked. We
No,
didn't
I'm
even
just
pick
kidding.
any of that.
Yeah, no, we didn't pick any ice cream today, huh?
You can't pick ice cream.
All of this has made everyone hungry.
Poppy, what you making?
Do a little broccoli and beef and some fish and broccolini.
Beef and broccoli, Fawn style, cooked fresh right there on the farm.
Look at that color. This is bright green. And all that heat, it kind of infused the flavor into the vegetable. So the Chinese tradition is called the breath of the wok. Joe, you can get eating now. Bring the
yeah?
rice up here.
Oh, farm lunch. Like this every day.
Yeah, everybody help themselves. Come on, let's grab lunch. Look at those greens, yeah?
Not bad.
Once he has grown the food, the farmer must take it to market.
We're gonna go help Joe out, huh? Go help Joe set up his stand.
Hey guys, helpers. All right, we got these baskets, cauliflower going here, radicchio here,
More
got
radicchio.
here, and I think we've got some lettuce right here. There you go, pile it high, watch it fly.
What are these little guys? Look at the little gem.
Many hands, even little hands, make quick work.
So this was picked, what, about
Yes.
10,
Yesterday.
4 hours yesterday?
Yeah. Remember that?
Like torpedoes or something.
Romanesco it is.
Nowadays, there's a farmer's market in nearly every town in America. You can bet at least one near you is selling year-round.
Did all this stuff come from your farm?
Yep.
So how many markets you do a week?
This is the slow time of year, only 3 markets a week.
Still got a lot of stuff here. What are you
I
talking
know,
about?
huh?
Is this normal?
Loaded. Yeah.
Yeah?
Pretty normal, pretty normal.
I think
It's funny, you know, look at the fields and how scrappy it is, how many weeds there are.
But you
And
still
then once
get all
it's
the stuff.
picked yeah. Broccoli
Carrots,
is
broccoli.
$3.50 a pound.
What about lettuce?
Okay, you want to write lettuce?
I need another color.
Get a good C in there. Take your time.
See?
And then E. There you go.
Okay, I'm going to ring the bell.
Anu rings the bell to open the market. Winter harvest, mild climb, ocean nearby, abundance in February. The chef finds the bounty hard to resist. There are onions and greens, nuts and apples, greenhouse-grown goodies, citrus, avocados, and kumquats, Swiss chard, greens of all sorts, Brussels sprouts, baby beets, herbs and plants, all for the taking.
Order up, $3.50. There you go. Oh, $1.75. $3, please. Attaboy, how's it going?
Good.
Oh, you want to weigh up your dad? Did he help you?
He did, thank
All
you. Yes.
right, all right.
When you're only 8 years old, doing this sort of thing for the first time makes you feel very important.
How much
Hey,
is it?
this man's asking you a question.
How much is the beet?
How much? $2?
Each? Bunch?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I think that's a good price.
Attaboy, you got it, you got it. 13, it's good.
$13.
$13? Cool. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Charles. The kids are gonna have to come by and visit me on Saturdays at the market. Come hang out.
Joe goes
push
to the
some
fair
buttons.
building every Saturday in the
Yeah.
back.
Charles Fawn has been in and around family kitchens since he was very small. With no formal education in cuisine, but only on-the-job training, he has nonetheless built a leading restaurant in one of America's great food cities.
We're gonna do our favorite kai jiao. It's actually a Thai word, but we have that in Vietnam too. It's a little egg omelet, but traditionally it's just egg and fish sauce. But today we're gonna throw in a little trumpet mushroom. You think this is cool? This time of year they found in the woods, you know? And they're a little hard to clean because they're a little dirty, but you're gonna brush it out, but they're really great flavor. So who wants to crack the egg and whip it up? You gotta crack the egg. And the trick to do this dish is you want it almost like a crepe, like a pancake kind of like, and it's a little burn, you know, and so you eat it with rice.
Should I do all of it?
Yeah, one more. All right, now T's gonna whip this up. I'm gonna put a little fish sauce on here. It's actually an entree. When you have a quick meal you have to do, you come home, you got nothing else, a little egg. They call it kai jiao in Thai. And the trick is really on the cooking part and not over, don't pour the whole thing down, just enough to layer one coat on the pan. It's all about the texture thing, you know, you don't want to like soft. Okay, you gotta back it up and we're gonna start this giant engine here. This is a commercial wok. For those of you who don't have it, you don't need it, but. Using a little canola oil here. So just a little bit, right? Try to squish it around. Just one thin layer. Maybe add a little oil to the edges. And you can do it probably easier on a saute pan. So you kind of get this little brown spot like that. So when I make dinner, I like to cook things that are not heat sensitive first. So it can sit and you cook second dish. So we got the omelet. All right, kids, we're gonna go to the next dish. All right, what we're gonna do next? We're gonna do a little lemongrass chicken, okay? I'm gonna have Nati to cut the chicken. You wanna cut it into little chunks, you know? Then we're just gonna go into chunks like that, okay? And after that, cut it into two like that. All right, here's a made up one. And what I did was I put a little salt, pepper, white pepper, and a little oil. And we have lemongrass, and we have a little onion. We're gonna marinate them. We got some ground garlic. The biggest trick is really the lemongrass. Cut them really thin. And you could cheat by using a Cuisine, slice them real thin, but the herb is only good from here to here, and the rest is not very flavorful. Once you get them nice and thin, then you just chop them like that. and you chalk them to get this really kind of fine, like a big grain of sand kind of texture. Not only it gives really great fragrance, but also it leaves a nice texture. Here, watch your finger. Panu, can you stir fry this thing, please? Okay, just kidding. All right, stand back. Time for the big fire again. I put quite a bit of oil here. Wait until it's smoking. So we got breast meat and thigh meat. So now I'm gonna drain most of the oil out. And this oil could be reused. Now you're ready to saute your onion, a little bit of garlic. We have a little chili paste that we make. We return the chicken back in there. We'll do a little lemongrass, rice wine, a little fish sauce. All right, you want to taste? Tell me if it's okay. For the adult, you can add a little chili and hot,
Spicy?
a little color, but these guys don't take the heat too well yet, so we'll leave that out for now. So wok is like layering and really controlling the heat, and a lot of people just sort of treat it like a salad bowl with a flame underneath. They just toss everything, and it's not a salad bowl. It's a saute pan, it's a fryer. It's a lot of different things, so you got to do it in parts. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to saute beets here, and it's simple, little oil and garlic and a little wine and chicken stock. All right, little oil, little garlic. Since this thing is so hot, I'm not going to have a matter of seconds. So a little rice wine. This is just chicken stock, or you can just do fish sauce, you know, or salt even, and just simple. Really simple. The trick is to find good greens, good organic greens. I like to do them just a little bit on the raw side. And Nati likes the sauce. She always likes the sauce, right, Nati? So I always keep the sauce. But sometimes in restaurant, we strain the sauce out and not so wet, but those are all good. And we steam a little rice. And typically this is dinner. If we have time, we do a little broth. The whole idea is get dinner up in 15 minutes.
I still want to eat.
It's just really satisfying in seeing your wife and kid enjoying the food, and I think it's important that you learn how to make food and pay attention to what you put inside your body. Even myself sometimes forget what broccoli look like and really see in the feel or radicchio, because in my mind radicchio comes in a box sometimes, and you don't go out to the farm enough. But fortunately, you know, I've been working with Joe for the last 12 years. I can count on him. I would never worry about going to Joe and get something from him and he pour down some pesticide on top. He ain't gonna do it. We really try to stick with this sustainability program.